Bam, bitches.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Murder with My Sister.
I'm Marie.
I am Lisa. And we are
And
bringing it to you live.
we got a doozy for you this week, bitches.
We do. Can I wait? Before we get started in our story, I want to, number one, anecdote you with a little Cashton dote. I brought him those little microphones, like the ones that you see on TikTok for Christmas. Him
Yeah.
and Aubrey both got them. So
Yeah.
I gave him his microphone the other day, and he was in it. And he was like, "Hello, hello, hello, hello," like over and over. But he had it in echo mode, so it was just like, "Hello, la, 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 hello, la, la," the whole time, and it made me think of you because I was like, "Yes, this is amazing,
That's
great."
amazing. You should record that.
I was going to.
Oh, no. She's dying.
Sorry, no. Do you know my doctor told me that this cough would take like 6 to 8 weeks to go away?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes that happens.
I call bullshit.
I
I
mean,
had the crackling in my chest where you're like this,
yeah.
and you could hear it crackling. And I swear to God, I coughed so hard on Monday and Tuesday. I thought I was going to give myself a fucking aneurysm right in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just dropped Lane Bryant. Yep.
Yes, we did.
Okay. So there's a lot of talk about this now because the documentary is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Other podcasts are doing
Kind of
episodes on it.
yeah.
And the ones that had already covered it are my favorite true crime podcast ever, True Crime Garage, just did
Yeah.
a re-release. And I
Ooh.
just wanted to mention they had brought up an interesting point
Hmm.
about the possibility that it was a gang initiation. And we didn't look at it from that angle. So I kind of wanted to talk about that just for like 3.5 minutes.
I agree. Like,
Well,
the whole way that it happened and whatever, like, that would not surprise me, especially being from Chicago and hearing all the stories about how they do these things, like, that would not I be like,
so
"Pff, yeah,
my
sure."
sis and I were in the heart of the city in the 80s and 90s when gangs were the prevalent community feature. So I knew boys that they would go cruising, right? We'd call it cruising in their
Mhm,
cars.
mhm.
And they would go into a neighborhood. And our neighborhoods in the city were divided by viaducts, whatever people call them. Whereas out here,
Viaducts.
you have mm, like a gated subdivision.
Mhm,
Um, and they would switch their hat from one way to the other, and they would do a different. Like it was just really
mhm.
intriguing to watch them go from one neighborhood to the other because they were not loyal to one gang or another, but wanted to do the appropriate affiliation when
Homage?
traveling.
Yeah.
Now, I can here's what I'm picturing is like little teenager Lisa driving in the car and 49-year-old Lisa talking about the appropriate, whatever, and they'd be like, "What the fuck you talking about, woman?" But anyways, so it's just one of those things. They had mentioned it, and it kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, "Oh my God, I never thought about it from that
Oh.
end." But here's why I say nay.
Hmm.
Because we were in that zone so in it, like, right, like,
Mhm.
I don't wanna bore stories of that now, but, like, I had a boy come to my house and give me a gun once
Mm.
to hold for
Can you
him.
hide this?
No joke.
And
I
Lisa's
gave it
like, "Get
to
the
f
fuck out of here."
I gave it to Fran, like, that night. I'm like, Mom, this boy
So
dropped this off." She's like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Well, it appears to be a gun." I mean, that's me now, but I was like and she's like, "Give me that thing." And I'm like and now I wonder, I'm like, "What did she do with that?" I
what
don't
did
know.
she do?
Either way, what I'm
Dropped it in the
saying is
sewer in the
that, like,
backyard.
I feel like even in that instance, this
Mhm,
was not a close friend of mine.
mhm,
It was somebody that I knew from school,
mhm,
somebody who knew where I lived.
mhm.
But if this was gang related, I feel like someone would have talked by now.
I
I
agree with
feel like
that.
there's no way to have kept this quiet this long
in those
Even
in those
Go ahead.
like, so gangs in Chicago, like, at least what I grew up in on the fringes of knowing,
Mhm.
there ain't no fucking loyalty there.
There's
No
they weren't keeping
fucking
it shut.
loyalty. No.
They weren't keeping it
Everybody would
shut.
have been
Mm-mm.
talking. Those boys, I'm gonna say boys mostly, but, like, those boys
They were
and men
boys.
in gangs, 'cause I know that there are girls in gangs too, but primarily it's a male-dominated thing, right? Let me tell you something about men.
We had
Those
party crews.
bitches are worse than any sewing circle of women I have ever met in terms of
OM
gossip. Oh
fucking
my
G.
god. Oh my god.
Eric's friends are like ladies.
The click, 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 click,
He
click, click,
all
all
he would call
I
he'd
have
be like, "Oh my
never in
god."
my
He's
life.
and I won't say any names because I don't wanna say he's like, "Oh god, so and so is calling me." He's like, "Do you mind?" He's like, "I'm gonna need at least a half an hour for this." And I'm like, "A half an hour? I'm your fiance, and I don't think I've ever spoken to you on the phone for more than 5 minutes." Even now, I see him when I come like, "Ugh." And they're like, "Who's it, your husband?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because, like, I'll talk to you when I get home, bro. But
Yeah,
it's
they're
just one
pretty
of those
bad.
things where I don't think it could be a gang, but I liked hearing it for the outside of the box. Chicago is very gang dominated, and
Mhm.
even though it happened in Tinley Park, the safest neighborhood at that time to raise a
Doesn't
family,
matter.
Tinley Park was seriously no more than like a 40-minute drive. And when I say
Mhm.
40 minutes, like couple of side streets, hop on an expressway, hop off an expressway, and you're there. And
And so I'm gonna tell you another franecdote.
I gotta take my earrings out. Go ahead. I'm
Another
still hearing you.
franecdote from the
Mhm.
front lines, if you would.
I
Fran
would.
always used to say, because remember we didn't have, like, a doorknob at one point, and you couldn't lock doors and stuff in our house?
Yes.
So, she would always say, "Oh,
Oh,
you
that's
guys worry too
terrible.
much." She would say, "Nobody's gonna break into this house
Yes.
because our neighbors are the ones doing the breaking in, and they don't work."
Eat where they
She said,
shit.
yeah, she said, "They don't shit where they
Mhm.
eat or live," or whatever the
That's what it
fuck it
was,
was.
yes. I
But
remember her she told both of
so
us because I don't yeah.
it
Mhm.
doesn't surprise me that if it's an inner city thing that they ended up in the suburbs because they're not gonna do it in their own fucking neighborhood. They do have a couple of
Yeah.
brain cells to rub together.
But
Just a
between all
couple.
of them, they probably do. But either way, I just wanted to mention it because I didn't hate hearing that
Yeah,
theory, and I
yeah.
didn't but, in almost within like, seconds of hearing it, I'm like, "Well, no, because somebody would have talked by now."
I would think so, unless that
Especially
person
because of
is
the
dead.
reward.
I mean, yeah, they're not
Well,
loyal. They're not loyal.
they're not loyal.
But if it is something like that inner city situation, then it,
Yeah.
it is more likely that that person, like, maybe they had a drug deal, like a drug issue, maybe they didn't, maybe they
Mhm.
sold it, which is just as hazardous to your health.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
So there was also a theory that I heard recently. Like I said, this is picking up a lot of traction that there and forgive me, so I might as well just reference True Crime Garage, the most recent episodes where they update their Lane Bryant, which can I just tell you, I love that they do that. They might have covered a case and the original one was like in the numbers 80s,
mhm,
so maybe like the first couple years, and then
mhm,
they revisit it with new
mhm,
information. Thank you for that. Love it.
mm,
So we're revisiting ours now.
mhm,
But one of the things they had mentioned was that there was talk of maybe it was somebody who knew someone who worked at Elaine Bryant because there were people who worked there who were like, "Yes, we only open the registers with $300, but when there's a big sale or when we
mm,
have a big day, there may have been the potential for thousands of dollars." Now,
hmm,
I wanna mention for you, like, for you and I and for people who are living paycheck to paycheck, but not, like, starving,
mhm,
a couple $1,000 doesn't seem like money that you would take to kill someone, right? You have to separate yourself from that line of thinking because we know that it's obscene, but and I'm not justifying desperation,
yeah,
it makes people look a little differently. I am not sympathizing with the person that did this,
No, but
just trying
in
to
his brain, it might have looked like it
right.
was worth
A
it.
lot of money, a lot it might have looked like a lot more money than it would look like to other people.
Yeah,
So, that's all
I
I
get
wanted to
that.
say was just that eh, I I I didn't love the idea that it was a gang initiation was what they had described it as, but I didn't hate hearing it because I
Mhm.
know they do some fucked up shit
Yeah.
to prove their loyalty. I really fucking hate that.
The other thing I saw when, I was doing the post, so you guys are gonna hear this, I don't even know when, like, end of February, beginning of March,
Mhm.
but we're recording it, February 6th, so our Lane Bryant episode had just dropped earlier this
Mhm.
week. So,
Right.
last weekend when I was doing the post for Instagram and TikTok and all the rest, I was looking at my stuff so I could put the pictures up and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and there were new articles online that Charlie Min, who is the
Mhm.
documentarian who's doing
Mhm.
this, and I guess the documentary is coming out on like February 13th or something,
I'm literally chomping at the bit to
but
get all
it's
over
but
it.
it says it's going to be in movie theaters.
No, 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 select movie theaters. I
Oh,
believe
it'll be
okay,
online.
I heard a rumor that they were showing it at the AMC in
Mhm.
Crestwood.
Mhm.
That would have been in a strip mall where that was the Lane Bryant that I always shopped at.
Mhm.
It was on Calsag Road in Cicero.
Yeah. So apparently he had a couple of dates with Andrews High School
Andrews
and
is south.
okay, and then another high school, 2 high schools in that area. I don't know if they were both in Tinley Park, but
Mhm.
he had dates to go and, like, talk to the students about
Mhm.
documentary filmmaking,
Mhm.
supposedly, and they invited him to come and speak, and then they canceled both of the dates for him to come and speak to the students, like, out of nowhere, just said, "No, thank you,"
Why?
because they invited him. He didn't, like, seek them out. And
No, but why
then
did they cancel?
well, in the article, and this was online, I think it was, the Chicago Tribune or something, I don't remember. But he said that the excuse that he was given for canceling was that the schools have
Uh-oh.
a very good relationship with the Tinley Park Police Department that they don't want to jeopardize by having him speak.
No.
Nobody gives a fuck about these
No.
women who died. It's all
They
about
d
what
okay,
might make them
oh.
look bad. Are you
Oh,
fucking
boy.
kidding me?
My god, you're living safely in Colorado, don't say that shit. I don't believe that. I don't in my heart wanna believe
Why would he
that
lie?
no, 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 I'm not saying that he's lying, I'm just saying I don't wanna believe here's what I wanna say, I wanna believe that there's more to it than that.
I hope so.
I wanna believe that there's more to it than that.
I
Maybe
mean, he
it was
might
the
have
violent
mentioned,
flu that was going
I
around,
don't know.
and
He
he didn't
he
want
might have
everybody to get sick.
mentioned the murders. I mean, I have to assume they wanted to see him because of what he did for a living, but all of that
But he
aside, like,
interviewed the Tinley Park Police, didn't he?
no, they never responded to a single invitation, not one. The detectives won't talk to him, the chief of police won't talk to him. Nobody would give him the time of day. He did all this without them, and nobody has a good reason for why.
I so here's what I'm gonna say about this.
It makes
I
it so even if it's not malicious, it's a bad look, guys. It's a real bad look.
I am gonna say this. Let's put a pin in that
Mhm,
until we see the documentary
mhm,
and then and then revisit this
yeah.
because I don't love that for
Mm-mm,
Tinley Park and I don't love that
mm-mm.
for Illinois, but I
No
also
bueno.
still live here, so scared Lisa is not gonna ruffle those feathers. Our friend Christy Shadden would be banging down their doors right now.
Yeah, she would.
She has a TikTok. Can I give her a little cred right now?
Yeah.
Because I know she watches us. Hang on. So, guys, I'm not getting political on our podcast, but if you wanna get angry, our friend Christy Shadden that we grew up with goes by June Osborne on
OMG, no, she doesn't.
she fucking does.
I fucking love it.
She is on TikTok as June Osborne. She posts from people that comment on her page. I
Yes.
don't wanna say politically one way or another. I just wanna say if you wanna get into a fight, she'll go there with you. She's gonna
I
take
love
it to
it.
the mat.
I love it.
So, I had messaged her a couple weeks ago, so I was watching TikTok, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, something happened on TikTok, and I need you to help me maneuver through this." And it was a very vulnerable ask. I was 100% not sure what I was doing. I was
Mhm.
not sure what was going on, and I'm like, "I need you to tell me if I'm being scammed." And she's like, "Yeah, you're being scammed." And I'm like, "Don't fucking yell at me, Chrissy." I'm like, "I was coming to you because you're always on TikTok and I need your fucking help."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna tell you the truth." And I'm like, "Tell it to me a little fucking sweeter, okay? I said this was me being goddamn vulnerable." So anyways, she's like, "Well, I get," she's like, people cancel me every single day, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I know this, but I still needed your vulnerable help, okay?"
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she'd be in Tinley Park right now with you, banging down the doors of
Good.
the Tinley Park Police Department if she was
Good.
here. So, that being said, I just wanted to mention that at the
Alright.
top and say that because I'm really I really want that to have some salvage,
It would be
but
nice.
it would be nice. Okay.
Alright, on to the next disaster of a story.
I think this was my sister's bag, guys.
I did, I'm picking, like, the OGs. I'm picking, like, back to the
I am
beginning.
gonna talk to you about that when we're done with this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Okay,
I could do
whatever
whatever I
you.
want. So there.
Stupid, dumb, stupid head.
So this week, we are telling you the story of the son of Sam, AKA David Berkowitz.
Hmm.
I think he went by the 44
44.
caliber killer at one
Let's
point.
He gave himself the Son
This
of Sam
moniker,
name,
yeah.
so let's not give him his satisfaction there. Let's call him Davy,
He's such a
'cause
drip.
I think he would hate that if we're like, "Hey, Davy."
He's such a big
Um,
loser.
so my
Anyway.
sources for today, I love this. It was called a ta article, Conversations with the Killer. Wikipedia page, David Berkowitz, and the
Mhm.
Morbid Podcast live at the Gramercy Theater, February of
You put
2020.
202
I sure did. So here it was February of the 2 O's,
of the
of the
202s
20s.
of the
Okay. Sis,
2020s.
what were yours?
Um, I did the Netflix documentary, conversation like, confession tape, something like that, conversations, whatever the fuck. And then, moviedelic.com, biography.com, in addition to the same sources that my sister told you about.
Can I stop you really quick and
Yeah.
just tell it the way that you say documentary, when I listen
Documentary?
when I listen to our little podcast to get
Yeah.
us that one listen,
Yeah.
it makes me giggle every time because at first I thought it was like you being funny and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
that's just how she says
Yep.
documentary.
Documentary,
Like,
not
but it's
documentary.
Terry. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Maybe it's a
okay.
Chicago accent, right?
I
Tree.
mm, tree.
Tree seven
Maybe.
six five four
Documentary.
seven six.
Oh fuck. I shed that accent long ago.
I'm pretty sure you have not, and
No.
if you are next to someone who has a different accent, you're gonna do things. I just did it right
We
now.
went
Accent, did like,
we
you
went
don't
to
even hear it anymore.
Vegas, Eric and I, a while back, and we met some Canadians, and I had met them at the bar, and he's like, "I'm with some Canadians, you gotta get over here. They keep talking about my accent." And I'm like, "You don't even have an accent."
Oh, yeah,
And
you
then
do.
I showed up from Chicago, and they're like, "Oh my god, she's 10 times worse." And they're like, say this word." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You say it. You sound like a bigger fucking weirdo than I do." And they're like, did you just, she said weirdo." And I'm like, "That's how it's said." But they were Canadian. Oh, they were
Oh,
Canadian.
don't you
Oh,
know?
don't you
Oh.
know? I fucking love going to the UP.
Oh, I love
I
it.
love when we went the first year that we had ever gone. Sorry, Chris and Joey, bear with me. You'll remember this. And they had warned us about the way that they talk. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it's Michigan. We're not going into another country. And then we get to the gas station. Me and Renee had walked in, and the guy's like, "Oh, you guys want to be careful for the rain coming." And I was like, was like, "He did it. He just did it." And I was like, "And also the sun is shining. What are you talking about?" I'm not fucking shitting you. We walked out of that gas station. 4 minutes later, there was rain. I'm like, "Son of a bitch."
They
He
know.
could smell it coming. He could smell it coming. In the early hours of July 29th, 1976, OMG, 18-year-old medic in training Donna Laria and her friend Jody Valenti, then a 19-year-old nurse. Like, could you be younger for a nurse? Could you be any younger to be a nurse? We're sitting in Valenti's blue two-door Oldsmobile Cutlass in the Bronx. This is after a night of dancing at the disco.
Mm,
Without
mm.
warning, a man approached their vehicle, pulled a gun from a paper bag, and fired multiple shots, striking Lauria in the back and killing her instantly. Valenti was shot and wounded in her leg, but survived the attack. This brutal and seemingly random crime marked the beginning of a violent spree of attacks that would keep a terrified New York on edge for more than a year. So this is the story of the 44 caliber killer David Berkowitz. I am refusing to say son of Sam,
Okay.
even though I just said it. I'm
Nope.
saying I'm refusing to say it.
That's
Okay.
okay. From the
Okay.
top.
Fine.
So,
Fine.
in the Netflix documentary,
Mhm.
the reporter in the beginning calls him one crazy motherfucker.
He is one crazy motherfucker, and maybe I hate this one because what is it again? What is this fucking one again? It's a crime of opportunity.
Yeah, it's your
Like,
favorite.
I fucking hate this. And
Yeah.
I also hate this guy because
Fucking hate this guy.
he really makes me angry.
Mhm.
He just and I'm gonna try really hard not to get angry, and I'm gonna be calm. I'm gonna do my starfish breathing
Wait, what are
through
you
this
drinking?
whole I'm drinking my Angry Moon,
You're drinking a 1, 2?
a 1, 2.
Alright, in
I
about
can't
3 sips, she's gonna be spicy.
I'm coming in hot, guys. I
Okay. Um, they called New York at that time Fear City.
Mm,
It was it was all the things that as a little kid I remember people talking about New York being a big and scary dangerous place.
mhm.
Not like now where it's very bougie and I mean it's still a big city, right? But it doesn't have that same vibe that it I feel like even Chicago in the 80s had. Like nobody went into the city
Mm.
because it was so dangerous there and that sort of thing.
That's Chicago now.
I mean,
That's literally
so
Chicago now.
there was a lot of financial turmoil in New York,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
the city actually cut police officers, like laid off cops. I've never heard of such a
Mhm.
thing.
I specifically remember hearing about this because I remember and it might have been news articles, like, as we've looked at son of David Berkowitz, because of the neighborhoods that were kind of, like, protecting themselves.
Yeah.
So it had turned into, well, we're gonna protect ourselves, we're gonna do this thing. So I kinda feel like I remember that.
Mm. It
Maybe and
was,
that had to do, like, with the rioting and stuff like that?
I mean, that's what I remember seeing on the news when I was
Mhm.
younger and they would talk about
Right.
the old days or whatever.
Right, right, right.
It was also like smack dab in the middle of the 70s. So it was like a disco fever for sure.
Disco
Amazing
Fever and
music.
amazing really great like, right, sis?
Mm.
Really great music, and
Mm-hmm.
Studio 54 was busy. They were so busy pushing every drug and STD you could ever want to try.
Well,
They're like, "You want the clap? Come here, we'll give it to you. You
think
wanna
about
try
it
some
though.
coke? Come
At
here,
that
we'll give it to you."
at that point in time, yes, people
Yeah.
overdosed, right? But the drugs were clean as compared to now,
Girl,
right?
girl, this
And
is wh
there was no
girl,
such thing as AIDS. So anything you caught could be cured with a little penicillin. That's the world
did
that
they
they
have
lived in.
penicillin?
Yeah, they had
Okay. So I'm imagining like there was an era for us that was ecstasy that was hands down like the best era of doing drugs that I've ever experienced. And
Mm,
I'm associating that with like what Quaaludes would have been then.
yeah, I don't know.
Like imagine a pure Quaalude in the 70s. Just yeah. And the guy for Say no to drugs, guys. Say no to drugs. Unless your doctor gives it to you, in which case you say, "Please and thank you,"
Yes.
because pharmaceutical medical drugs are amazing, but I don't think they'll give you Quaaludes. What's ecstasy is MDMA. What is that, sis? You know of MDMA, right?
I know that. That's all I know.
Is it a it's not a hallucinogen, it's a body high.
I have no idea.
You never did ecstasy.
Nope.
Never did MDMA.
Nope.
Okay. So we got
Yeah, I
some
got
work to
nothing.
do.
I got
We
nothing.
got some work to do. That's all right. Well, hopefully we're going to Vegas soon. I'm gonna take you down that rabbit roll. Mhm.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So, as my sister said, the first shooting crime was July
Mhm.
29th, 1976 in the Bronx. Donna Loria, Jody Valenti coming home from dancing at a disco. Jody was dropping off Donna and they were sitting outside Donna's house in Jody's car when someone walked up to the car and started shooting.
Mhm.
Um, they say this was the first incident, but as we go through this and learn more, was it the first? Question mark.
I don't
And
think it was.
I'll tell you more.
Okay, I don't think it was. Can I tell you wait, another quick anecdote because I don't have anything else to contribute to the story.
Mm,
When we went to Curie, and do you remember the white Buick that Fran had?
yep,
She let me take it to school in my senior year,
yep.
and I would force Raina, who's my bestie, "Hey, Raina, if you're listening," to cut with me all the time, but we would cut and stay around school.
Yeah.
So, like, we would cut school to be outside of school,
I
and we
would
were
go
sitting
to
in the
lunch, open lunch, and just not come back until
Right.
all the lunch periods were done.
We were sitting in that white Buick in the parking lot at Curie, we were just gabbing all over the place. And she was sitting in the passenger seat, and we were both kind of reclined, just talking. And she saw this guy coming towards our car. Boom. Out the corner of her eye. She hit the button close. Sis, I am not kidding you. She did the button close almost simultaneously as he reached up to grab the handle. And she's like, oh my God, this guy's trying to get in the fucking car. We were 100 yards from the door at Curie in that parking
In the
lot, and I,
parking
like,
lot.
started the car and, like, pulled out right away, and she's like, "Oh my god, thank God one of us was paying attention, Lisa." She's like, "That guy coulda killed us." And at the time, of course, little baby Lisa was only watching Autopsy, and I'm like, "That's not how that happens, Raina, you're fine." But it's just one of those things where that was in the '70s that these girls were sitting and talking,
Yeah,
and we were doing the exact same thing
in the
20 years later.
90s. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years later doing the same thing.
So Donna Loria's boyfriend is kind of investigated because, of
Mhm.
course, they look at whoever's
It's
closest and all that stuff.
100%, 100%.
He was on the Netflix documentary talking about how it was so bad that he couldn't go to her wake, and
I remember that interview.
he never got to say goodbye in a way. It was really bad. But
I
he did
remember
have
that.
an alibi, he was cleared, and then the case goes cold. Like, they don't know what happened.
They don't so this was in July of '76, so all I say to that is that maybe he took some time off knowing that in a Catholic hospital in the South Side of Chicago, a precious little baby girl would be born, and that's all that needed to happen at that
Oh,
time.
Jesus Christ.
All guys, that's little baby Lisa was birthed into this world via demon vagina. And let me
So
tell
the
you, that apple didn't fall far from that tree.
just saying.
I think Fran would be proud of me today because I'm such a asshole slash nice person slash a little bit narcissist. I think she'd be like, yep, that's right. That's my girl."
Keep doing it.
Mhm.
So October 23rd, 1976, just a few months later, 20-year-old Carl DeNaro was enjoying a night out in Flushing, Queens, with 18-year-old Rosemary Keenan. And then everything I've read said that he was going to be joining the Air Force
Mhm.
imminently.
Mhm.
They're sitting in the car, drinking, smoking, just kind of living their best 20-something-year-old lives. Um, Carl says all he remembers is that somebody, like, the windows explode. I don't even think
Mhm.
they realized that they had been
Mhm.
shot.
Yeah.
Later, he's telling his story and he says that he wonders if because his hair was very long,
Mhm.
that he was being mistaken for a woman because
Mhm. Mhm.
Rosemary was sitting in the driver's seat. So
Oh.
they drive off, the windows break. They drive
Mhm.
off like panicked. They drive to a bar where they know somebody like a
Mhm.
few blocks away. The door person looks at him and he's like, "Man, Carl, you don't look so good." Carl says he puts his head down and all the blood that had been coming out of his wound was kind of collecting in his hair. And when he switched the way he was sitting and put his head down, it all just like ran down his face, ran everywhere.
Ugh.
Um, Ambulance is called. Carl finds out at the hospital that he'd been shot in the head.
He was shot in the head.
Shot in the head. They
Okay.
think that the bullet got slowed down by the car window, so he was shot in the head. He had, like, a fracture, he had to have a plate put
Mhm.
in his skull to kind of,
Mhm.
fix the wound and all of that, but ultimately, he survives, and
Mhm.
Rosemary survives this one. So these 2 people
Okay.
are shot, but neither one of them thankfully dies.
I'm pretty sure I saw the so what I'm pretty sure of is I'm pretty sure I saw the documentary that you saw on Netflix. I just don't think I went back to it for reviewing the specific, story that we're doing. But I'm pretty
So,
sure I saw that interview.
I'm kind of following the way that the documentary
I
lays it
know you love
out.
to do that. I know you love to do that.
So then the film goes back to the douchebag, and they talk I'm gonna tell you a little bit, okay? We're just gonna get through this.
Well, we have to because we have to understand, right? We have to
We'll
like
never understand. It makes no sense even
what
when you
caused
hear it
it?
all.
Why did he do it? Why?
He's
Why?
just a fucking asshole at the end of the day.
I think
Anyway,
this one might be.
I
Okay.
really anyway, okay.
Let's do it. Let's get
So
in
we
there.
find out, you know what we should call him? DB. Those are his
DB.
initials, and we can just say it's dumb bitch.
So I don't love that because of DB Sweeney, who I do
Anyway,
love.
all right, fine.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
god, like the
Berkowitz,
cutting edge. Oh
love
god,
it,
my heart. Yes,
love
DB
it.
Sweeney, I love you.
Okay. So
Okay.
Berkowitz is given up for adoption at birth. He's adopted by a Jewish couple. They are described as very loving. His dad was a World War II vet. They
Yeah.
wanted a child.
Yes. They went shopping for him.
Yes.
Yes.
Somewhere around 8 or 9 years old, dad thinks it's a good idea to tell him he's adopted and that his birth mother died in childbirth. And the theories that the therapists have is that this causes him to be guilt ridden that he killed his
Okay.
mother.
Okay. 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 You see what I pause.
Pause.
Pause. Insert rant here. He's 8 or 9. There is 0 comprehension of what that fucking means at 8 or 9 fucking years old. This is when they like, what are you doing? So you tell him that his mother, gave him up for adoption. 8 or 9-year-old, they're like, "Okay, what does that mean?" Does he even know what the word adoption fucking
I
means?
don't fucking know.
No, and then your mom was killed during childbirth. Again, an 8 or 9-year-old isn't gonna process this like a normal person. How can that was their big grown-up brain
Mhm.
telling him what his little child brain
Mhm.
is feeling guilty for, which we now call gaslighting.
Mhm.
"Do you feel guilty that you killed your mom?" And he's like, "Not until you said it."
Mhm. Now I'm
You
gonna
know?
latch onto it as an
Yeah,
excuse.
now it's my excuse. You get thank you for that one. Score 1 for DB. Nope, not doing it.
Berkowitz. So they say
Bitchewitz.
that's when
Mhm,
his bad behavior started, and they describe some things in the documentary. I'm like, whatever.
mhm,
To me, it's once again just a bunch of bullshit excuses because I'm sorry, there's millions of people out there who found out that they were adopted later in life and they didn't grow up to be murdering fucktards. So I don't really
mhm,
care what his reasoning was. His mom ultimately passes away from cancer when he's around 14 years old.
mhm.
So then he's dealt another blow.
So wait, so that one I can actually wrap my head around because watching someone die of cancer is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And a 14-year-old, especially if they had loving parents, now that one I could be like, "Okay, that's some trauma there."
Mm.
Is it trauma that makes you want to kill people? I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
It maybe makes you maybe trauma that you wanna be a doctor and find the cure for cancer. That's the kind of trauma I think I could get. What are you doing with your microphone? That I can get down with. But at least that okay, fine. I'm gonna give him that trauma. I'm gonna give him that trauma.
All right.
Alright.
So
I
he
love
has
that
to
you
see
hate
a
everyone.
yeah. He has to
You do.
see a therapist, and in the Netflix documentary, they describe this. The
Yep.
therapist does this thing where she uses toy soldiers to represent the people in his life.
Mhm.
And then he uses a toy gun to shoot the people that he's mad at. Like, he shoots the little things, and she says, "Who is that you're shooting at?" And he shoots another one. "Who is that? Why are you angry at that person? Who is that you're shooting at?" And all I could think of is you're giving him the idea to shoot people by playing this out. Like, you're planting seeds in his head somehow. I feel like watching it, you're making it like you're setting him up to be some mass murderer school shooting person. I have no idea why a therapist would think that that was a good idea. I don't get that.
These were therapists from the
I
'70s.
know. I know. I'm
Do you
just
remember the
saying.
therapist, the child therapist that we had in group therapy,
Oh,
those
Jesus
fucking whack
Christ.
jobs? That was m those therapists were more childhood trauma than I had in my
I'm
actual fucking
telling you.
childhood trauma.
I still have what do they call it?
Those
Religious trauma. Ugh.
those people were psycho. But so I also heard now we're gonna talk about something that is fascinating for Lisa,
Hmm.
that he had not 1, but 2 childhood head traumas.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, yes, and really nice, lovely wax on the dome,
Mm.
so nothing that was gonna like, where it was just like, "Crack, you got a little boo-boo." No, these were, like, substantial, like, kapows!
Okay.
Um, that and again, not once, but twice.
Mhm.
I had read also that he was a little spoiled brat,
Mhm.
and he was a little bit of a bully.
Mm.
So now you got head trauma, hep trauma, bully, and spoiled rotten brat.
Mhm.
Um I also heard on the Morbid podcast had expressed some information that our little friend there was a bit of a fire starter. Loved him some fires as a
So
kid.
2 of the 3 triads and 2 head injuries.
So there was some reports that he had set minor fires to the tune of like hundreds to thousands. So is that like a campfire? Like
Hmm.
what's a minor
I
fire
don't know.
and what does it mean like I saw Firestarter, okay?
Mhm.
Like, as a kid, I watched little baby Drew Barrymore sweat and huff and puff and then blow something up with her mind. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was fucking jealous. I was like, "I wanna fucking huff and puff and blow something and get real sweaty and blow something up with my mind." She's like, and then she would get real sweaty and blow it up. So maybe, yeah, there was something else going on there. Maybe there should have been some, what do we like to call that now? Early childhood
Yeah,
intervention?
maybe so.
Mm,
So 1975 rolls around and
mhm.
Berkowitz is alone in the big city as an adult, remind you, because his dad remarried and relocated to Florida.
Relocated with who, though?
A stepmom.
A
He
new
remarried.
stepmom.
Yeah.
He remarried. His new stepmom was, like, not the biggest fan of this son, which I'm sure is pretty normal, but she
Mm.
was like, "Spidey sense is going off." She was like, "Nope, nope, he's a fucking weirdo. That fucking weirdo's not coming with us to Florida." So
All
they
right.
noped to Florida, and she was not having any part of him coming with them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So Berkowitz decides he's going to go to these meetings called ALMA,
What?
ALMA.
Okay.
Back then was kind of how you might find your birth parents. It was like a support group for people that were adopted, but then the birth parents of kids that were put up for adoption would also go to these meetings.
Okay.
So he finds out this story that his dad said where he's like, your mom died in childbirth, your dad couldn't take care of you, and you were put up for adoption was the same story that everyone told their kids that were adopted back then. It was some like bullshit story that they were like, so when he's old enough, this is what you tell him. And then he's like, wait, so my mom could still be alive. And he starts looking for her. He finds out his given name was Richard Falco. He finds a Betty Falco who would be the right age somehow.
Mhm.
He leaves her a letter. She calls him. He goes to Queens to meet her. She
Mhm.
isn't the picture of normalcy and whatever he was expecting. He says that she's poor, she's disheveled, she's like, and he's not happy
He's
that.
upset. He is upset that the vision of his reunion
Mhm.
wasn't some picture perfect book fucking scenario.
True story.
"Oh, oh, I love you so much. I should have it wasn't me that gave you up. I was forced to give you up. Come
Yeah.
to me, my darling."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sweetie, because most times women gave up children because they couldn't afford to have them,
Yeah.
okay?
So he finds out his birth father was actually married and his birth mother was having an affair with him, so it was like an out of wedlock accidental pregnancy.
Oopsie.
Apparently, he says he then pictures people having sex in cars, affairs, careless pregnancies, and starts targeting couples in cars that remind him of that. And the therapists are like, he's killing his parents over and over again.
I call bullshit. How do you say it? How do you say it says from the movie?
Bullshit.
Boosh. There it is.
Bullshit,
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 bullshit.
bullshit. There it is. What movie is that again?
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Fuck yeah, it is. All right.
It's
Yeah,
it's
no.
where
So
where it's where Sarah Marshall is, like, mimicking the British accent.
You're
"Bullshit,
right.
bullshit, bullshit."
Thank you for that. Oh my god, you just made me cough so hard. Thank you so much for that.
So,
So I did
he's working odd jobs, he's living in rundown apartments, he ends up in Yonkers, 35
ugh,
Pine Street, and apparently he was even working at the post office sorting
and that
mail at
sounds
some
about
point.
right.
There
There
it
it is.
is.
Sounds about right. So I did hear some reports that he had considered his mama like unclean and like a sinner of all those things. And then
Do you really think
maybe
if she was well off and, like, as he says, like, the picture perfect everything, do you really think he would have been given up? No. She was struggling. She was struggling to survive.
so I
Dumbass.
mean, so the reports that I had read that were that she was forced to give him up
I
because
don't
of
know.
the
I
whole
mean,
out of wedlock thing.
maybe by
Yeah.
the married,
Yeah, the married guy was like, "I'm not doing this. Sorry, not
you
doing
know?
it." And she was like, "Well, okay." I mean,
Alright.
here's the thing. Here is the actual fucking thing. How many stories are we gonna have where women kill their children because they're in a situation with or a relationship with somebody who's like, I didn't want a ready-made family. What she did was better than the alternative.
I agree.
I mean, I guess he killed a lot of people. Nope, not doing it, not doing it, not doing that. She
It's
did the
not her
right
fault.
decision. She made a nice decision for her, for
Mhm.
him at the time. Um,
Let me
so
tell
that's
you
all
how
that
it
there
would
is.
go. If she
Tell
had
me.
kept him,
Tell me.
obviously, he's got a screw loose from the get-go, and if she had kept him, you would have done the same thing he did this time, except that the story would be different. He'd be like, "Why didn't she just give me up if I couldn't be given the right life? It's all because I was so poor," and blah, blah. Like, he would just find
Mm,
it's all bullshit, Lisa. It's all
okay.
bullshit.
I believe it's all
Anyway,
bullshit. Fuck this guy. And then so
bullshit.
you're yeah, okay. But all right, go
So,
ahead.
November 27th,
Mhm.
1976, a month after the last one,
Mhm.
Joanne Lamino, 18 years old, and 16-year-old Donna DeMasi had gone to the movies and were standing outside of Joanne's house talking. A
Mhm.
guy dressed in, as they say, military fatigues walked up asking for directions and then opens fire on them. Joanne's brother was in the house sleeping, and
Mhm.
whatever happened out there, the noise, whatever happened, it woke him up. He
Mhm.
goes downstairs, he sees them through the window laying on the porch, and he can't open the door because Joanne is in front of the door. He eventually gets the door open. Donna had been shot in the neck and she survives. Joanne couldn't move at the time. They get her into the hospital. She has s- the bullet is lodged in her spine, and she's essentially
Mm.
paralyzed from the waist down for the
Didn't they say
remainder of her life.
it severed her spinal cord? Is that right or okay.
I don't know, but she she lived the rest of her life in a wheelchair. I looked everywhere and I cannot find any information on how old she was when she finally passed away. Her brother says in the interviews that she had a lot of health issues. She obviously
Mhm.
battled with depression
Mhm.
because that was not what she envisioned for her life.
Right.
And he says that he thinks that that mental struggle is what made it so hard for her to stay physically well.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Well, yeah, because that's
he ruined her whole
actual
life.
trauma.
Yeah.
So excuse me, David Berkowitz,
And
that's
she didn't kill
actual
anybody.
fucking yeah. No, try to
Shocking.
just deal with it. Mhm.
So this is when people in the neighborhoods are putting things together because they keep
Mhm.
hearing these stories, this accident, this incident, like all that stuff.
Mhm.
But the police have no clue that all of these things are connected. One is in Queens, one is in the Bronx, one is in Flushing. They're all different precincts, even
Mhm.
though they're all in New York. So
Okay,
no
can I
one,
ask a vulnerable question again?
yeah.
And New Yorkers, don't come at me. I'm asking you to educate me, okay? Because I want to know. So don't come at me. Like when you say the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens, for
Hmm.
me, I envision these to be very similar to like like Chicago zones where it's like Bridgeport,
Hmm.
Canaryville, back of the yards.
Hmm.
Is that in fact the same where they're only a few miles away from each other or are they
No, they're
further?
big.
Oh,
They're
they're
big,
okay.
and, like,
Okay.
within Queens,
Okay.
there are Canaryville and Bridgeport and all the other little
Oh god,
neighborhoods.
I'm going to ask another vulnerable
They're
question.
huge.
Is Queens like a city? Like, if you were mailing it, would it be Queens, New York?
I think there is an address that is Queens, New York,
So
but
it's not like
within
because when you're in Chicago, you have these neighborhoods, but it's
it's
your
always
mailing address is
Chicago.
Chicago,
Mhm.
Illinois. So these are like cities.
Probably so. I would think then that you would mail a letter and it would say Queens, but you could live in I don't know the names in the neighborhoods, but you can live in various neighborhoods within Queens, and they're the boroughs are big. There's 5 boroughs in New York. I heard this over and over again, in different stories, and they're not small.
So here's where I'm going to ask if we have anybody listening from New York to email murderwithmysister@gmail.com and nicely explain something like really want to tell us, like really be proud of where you're at and want to share that knowledge in a really nice way. Please refrain from being like, "What the fuck, Lisa? Why are you fucking dumb at?" I just gentle. Okay,
So,
that's it.
the other thing is that back then,
Mhm.
when this was happening, there was no such thing as a serial killer.
Mhm.
It was very, like, in the FBI learning what to call these people.
Mhm.
And in '76, Bundy had been arrested for the Carol LaRange abduction,
Right?
but he didn't even escape prison until '77, and Chi Omega wasn't until '78. So even Bundy, like, bringing all of that serial killer stuff to the forefront hadn't happened yet.
Okay, let me ask you another question. And I know we don't know the answer to this because I don't see it anywhere. How was news broadcast at that time? Because so Bundy was arrested in 76. This was happening in 76. But the disappearances of all those women in Seattle would have been like earlier than that. So is this
Yeah.
something where is he seeing this in the newspaper or is
I
there
don't
no like
I don't
Washington to New York is legit East Coast, West
Yeah, yeah,
Coast?
yeah. No, I think that the majority of news was literally a physical newspaper
Okay.
and the nightly news. And if there
Okay.
were any national stations, I don't think those were as prevalent as the local stations.
Okay.
And it was not until after Chi Omega that Bundy started making national news, which is
So
3
that's
years into the future.
So
It's
that's what
years.
we're gonna call it national news, where, like,
Mhm.
it might have been widely covered in your local, but
Yeah,
not quite national.
correct.
Heard.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
continue.
now we're at January 30th. So Thanksgiving weekend, and now we're January 30th of 1977.
Mhm,
Christine Frund, 26 years old, and John Deal, 30 years old, were engaged. They had gone to a bar and they had gone to movies. They were just sitting in Chris's car. They never saw the shooter. The windows just exploded. John says he saw Chris kind of slump forward and he nopes out of there just like Rena. He was
mhm.
like, out of there.
Yep, mhm.
Christine eventually, they get to the hospital, had been shot twice and later died. John
Aw.
survived minor injuries, but this is the case that put them putting it together in a way,
Mhm,
because on the dashboard there was a fragment of a bullet in their car.
mhm,
And the detective is like, it's a big bullet. She's a big hunk of lead. And he
mhm.
was like, what gun did this come from? The medical examiner then tells the cops about other cases in the other boroughs with big bullets. And then that's when the police are putting together that there could be others because of
So
the
did
bullet.
so they recovered the casing, so, is it at this point that they realize that it's the .44 caliber or
Yes.
no? Yes.
This is how they put it all together.
So this is the first casing they have?
It's not a casing, it's a lump of lead.
No,
It's the actual
a lump of
bullet.
okay. Can I tell you that I'm looking up .44 caliber guns in 1976? This thing is a hand cannon.
Yes.
It's like a revolver too. It's like one where you would
Yes.
like and then put the
That's how my gun
okay.
is. Yeah.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause you can't jam them. It's so simple. It won't break. It's very
Okay.
easy. So, Detective Borelli is in charge of the investigation.
Mhm.
He gets ballistic comparisons done on all the bullets that have and find out that they've all come from a .44 caliber gun. He says it's such a big gun, if they shot you in the arm, it could literally remove your arm from your body. If it shot you in the head without anything in between, it could take off half your head. Like, it's a big gun.
I don't love that.
And that's why they called him the .44 caliber killer.
Mhm. So, here's the thing, at this point, he hadn't been writing the newspapers, right?
No,
Or the police?
no,
So they coined him .44 caliber killer, and he was like, I think we could do better than that," and then
I
started calling
guess.
him okay, I just wanna make sure because I know this story. This is one of those things where I know this story very well
Mhm.
from what I think I know of it, and then once we
Yeah.
started scratching the
I'm
surface,
like,
I'm like,
"Oh, oh,
yeah."
oh,
And what was it what case was it that we just talked about where I was like, oh, H.H. Holmes
Bundy." Well,
and
I
Bundy,
mean,
yeah,
like, all of
right,
the more like, the ones that kind of started it all, if you would, where people were
right,
paying attention and putting names to things,
okay,
but they were when we were so young that I knew of them, but I didn't really know them.
right. Alright, go ahead.
So, now we're in March, a couple months later, March 8th, 1977, Queens. Victoria nope, Virginia.
Mhm.
Oof.
Do it.
Voskerichian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's
I'm sure
perfect.
that I'm sure her mom would say it prettier. 19-year-old college student at Columbia University is walking home. She's got books. She's carrying books,
Yeah.
obviously. She held the books up in front of herself defensively. The bullet goes through the books and right into her face, and she's killed instantly. It's
Okay.
another one, a .44
Mhm.
caliber bullet. Now the police are like, "Holy shit.
Mhm.
Holy shit." A month later, give or take, April 17th, 1977, now we're in the Bronx again.
Mhm.
Valentina Serrani, 18 years old, and Alexander Esau, 20 years old, are sitting in their car. 3 shots are fired through the window of the car. Valentina was hit in the head and killed. Alex was hit twice and later died. The stories are now on the front pages. Val and Donna, or sorry, yeah, Valentina, and Donna, his first victim, lived pretty much on the same block. Like you could walk to the next one's house.
So at this point, though, is this where the girl, like the females are starting to say, "Oh my god, he's got like a type,"
Mhm.
and it's all because I remember very very clearly there was a like a mad rush to the salon to dye your
Mhm.
hair blonde,
Yeah,
to get the blondes, and I'm sorry for all my hairdresser friends, I did just say dye, but to bleach
color,
your hair blonde, sorry, bleach and
whatever.
color, yes, thank you.
This is the murder, Valentina and Alexander, where he leaves a note on the windshield of the car.
This is the first note.
Mhm. And
Okay.
it's addressed to Detective Borelli.
Mhm.
This is where Berkowitz calls himself the son of Sam in the letter. He says
Mhm.
like a lot of occulty type stuff. He signs it yours in murder, Mr. Monster, like kind of
Yeah, okay, okay.
whatever.
Get over yourself, bro.
I just whatever. It's a
Mhm.
very taunting kind of way that he's writing it, and it shows that he likes what he's doing. He's not crazy. He's
Well,
just a fucking
so
asshole.
okay, and but at this point, it's been almost a year of him doing this and getting away with it. And if we, as we maybe know, which we'll talk about later, maybe, is that in 1975 there may have been some other crimes as far as stabbings that he confessed to, but we won't talk about that just yet. So
We
maybe
don't learn
he's getting
any
away with.
Yeah, we don't learn that stuff until many like 1993, I think.
So maybe he's getting away with stuff for so long that he's starting to have that
He's getting cocky.
superiority
Mhm.
complex. Okay.
So even Borelli in the documentary is like, "I'm getting annoyed just reading this damn thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, because he's just an ordinary fucking loser. He's just a piece of shit."
An ordinary loser.
He literally, like, there is nothing special
I
about this
love
person.
it. I'm gonna start calling
Nothing.
people an ordinary loser because I think that's even a step further than just loser. I'm gonna be like, "You're an ordinary loser."
This is what I remember about being a kiddo, and I literally, like, not even 13 years old, and learning about this story and all of
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
I remember I was probably, like, 10, 11-ish, and Fran had a lot of books,
mhm,
and I remember that I was reading The Exorcist.
mhm.
I wasn't even fucking 12 years old. I was reading The goddamn Exorcist. Like, I don't even think
Well,
fucking
books aren't
adults should read
dangerous.
that.
Their books are knowledge.
Wow.
Knowledge is power.
So and let me just say that book is fucking terrifying. The movie was
Oh,
nothing compared to that book.
wait. I remember her two-shelf bookshelf on the
Yep.
wall in the
Yep.
dining room of that
Yep.
home on 47th Street. The
Yep.
other one that I saw all the time was The Alienist, was on her wall, like,
Mhm.
they were all murder mysteries.
So literally that's what like,
Mm,
"Oh, what is this?" and grabbing it and
what is
reading
it?
it.
I know, you were such a curious little thing. You're
But
so
I think that's
curious.
why this story when I was little scared me was because of the allusions to the occult angle, the ghosty part of it, and that's
Mhm.
probably how I learned about it in the first place.
Okay.
So this is the point in the Netflix documentary where he confesses to having stabbed someone that no one ever knew about even before he started killing people.
Okay.
They say it was in 1974. He describes it, but no one ever says
Mhm.
like who she was, did she survive? Have they ever identified her? Apparently, that's when he decided that stabbing was too close and messy. And that's how he was like, "Well, I'm just gonna get a gun." He, like, visited some friend from the army or some such thing and in Texas, and the friend bought the 44 for him. There's
Okay.
also so then they started talking about the house behind his apartment. There was a family, and the dad's name, was Sam Carr. He had a black
Mhm.
lab named Harvey
Mhm.
who was
Mhm.
outside, like, barking a lot. Like, we have some neighbors who leave their dogs outside all the time.
So, can I tell you something that I
Hmm.
thought you would find fun because I thought everybody always thought it was a black lab? I heard from different sources that it was a German shepherd.
Oh, his daughter
He was a
actually gave a
noisy little
picture,
German Shep Oh, okay.
and it was a black lab.
Then I stand corrected. I'm gonna
So
shut
I don't know,
my drunk mouth.
unless they picked up the wrong picture. But anyway,
Okay.
so all this commotion, like, he's deteriorating mentally. Everything's bothering
Mhm.
him, every noise, everything. So this dog barking outside is making him feel crazier and crazier. They
Mhm.
say he threw Molotov cocktails at their house. He wrote
Yes.
harassing letters. I guess that's the
Uh-huh.
fire thing, right? He
He
even
loved
shot
his
the dog,
fires. He I did hear that. He
but the dog
did.
survived.
I mean,
Fuck you.
I wanna say something really mean like, "Well, yeah, because you can't do it right, you dumb dumb." But
I know.
okay.
The cars initially had no idea who was doing all this stuff. Eventually, they know it was the dickhead next door, but when it was,
Okay.
like, first happening, they weren't sure.
Mhm.
Then he starts writing letters to the press to a reporter named Breslin, who was, I don't wanna I say like he was kind of like a Geraldo Rivera was back in the day, where he was,
Mhm.
like, kind of a famous reporter in a way.
Mhm. Mhm.
He
I know the
wasn't
name. I know the name from stories, from other
Yeah, he
stories.
wasn't like a tabloid journalist. I don't think he was that. I think he was like a
Did they
legit
have
journalist.
tabloids?
That's what I'm saying. I think they did. But some of the things that he does kind of makes me think about the sensationalism of it all. So that's kind of who I think of is like a Geraldo Rivera kind of situation. He keeps talking about him writing letters, blah, blah, blah. They are like, Berkowitz is sending letters into the press always to this
Mhm.
guy. He's always publishing them and giving him kind of what he wants. And he's just loving the attention.
Okay.
So now we're at June 26, 1977. Again, just the next month. I feel like
Mhm.
it's like every 6 weeks or so. In Queens, Judy Placido, 17, and Sal Lupo, 20,
Mhm.
were out dancing at a disco. They're sitting outside the club in the Cadillac that Sal drives. And then suddenly the windows explode. A shot, later they find out, goes through Sal's arm and hits Judy. He had had his arm around her, so it went through his arm and into her.
Mhm. Ugh.
Then 2 more shots, and that's it. Judy's hit in the head, but both of them thankfully survived this attack.
Okay.
Now the cops are like, well, can we lure him since we now are identifying his MO? So they
Mhm.
put like a detective and a mannequin sitting in a car in various
I remember that. I
levers
remember
lanes.
hearing about that.
And everyone's like, yeah, as soon as you walk up to the car, you know it's a mannequin. Like,
Mhm.
that wasn't
Mhm.
fooling anybody. Then they try putting 2 cops in the car and putting a wig on one of them, but they get nothing.
I remember reading about that. Mhm.
So the anniversary now of the first shooting is coming up. Everyone's freaking out because they're worried he's going to strike again because of the letters and the things
Mhm.
that he wrote in the letters.
I remember.
On July
I mean, I don't
28th,
remember, but I remember reading.
yeah, on July 28th, the day before the 1 year anniversary, the Breslin reporter, the Geraldo Rivera guy, he
Mhm.
writes an article that's kind of taunting him to, like, do your damnedest.
Right.
And I took issue with that. I feel like
It's the
you
70s,
don't
babe.
want to be poking that bear. And then
No,
what
they
if he
didn't.
killed somebody? Then it's on you. Like, in
Sis,
nowadays, you could sue him for taunting the guy.
they didn't have suing back then. They didn't have suing. They were allowed to ask you in an interview if you had kids and how you plan to handle it if they were sick.
She's not wrong.
No, God, I remember it. It's in the 70s, they could do whatever they wanted to. It's very much like the 80s.
Mm,
They were both doing a great job at being bad.
I
They're
hear
like,
you.
"Hey, listen, hey, if we're gonna do it bad, we're gonna do it fucking great.
Let's do it
So
bad.
let's do this. Let's fucking kill this bad."
So, July 29th, cops everywhere, all like
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Wait,
They were
so the
like,
6
if
of
you
them
were
that they
white,
had,
yeah,
that's because they
they
were
were
still in a
like,
shortage.
yeah, if you were white and you were male, you were getting stopped. You were being searched. And they searched,
Wait,
everywhere.
wait, so they had descriptions at this point.
They had sketches.
So they weren't thank God. So they weren't racially profiling the wrong
No,
demographic.
No.
Thank fucking God,
No.
because I thought that could go very wrong in the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, nothing happens
No.
until the next day,
Mhm.
July 30th, 1977. Now, this is in Brooklyn, which
Okay.
is, if you look at the maps, Yonkers is way up north.
Mhm.
Then there's the five boroughs, and
Mhm.
it's kind of like a big pie piece situation.
Alright, let's
And
look
then
it up.
below that, I think the Bronx or Brooklyn is one of the boroughs, but below that, Brooklyn is all the way at the south end of this area, far away from where he lives and far away from where he's previously struck. He's never been in Brooklyn. Robert Violante, 20, and Stacy Moskowitz, 19. Robert and Stacy have a date planned. Now she's blonde, and Robert says that Berkowitz, or as they say it, the son of Sam, doesn't come to Brooklyn. He's never been there before. The previous, as we know, female victims always had long dark hair.
Mhm.
So this is where I put in. Do you remember in Summer of Sam how all the girls started coloring their hair blonde
We
and
are
stuff?
literally gonna talk about Son of Sam or Summer of Sam
Summer
one
of
more time.
Sam, yes.
All right, I have another wait, I'm gonna pause you and just tell you that I have another very, very vulnerable thing to ask.
Hmm.
It appears all of these are islands that are not quite connected to the mainland, like the boroughs of New York. So I'm showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
So these are Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island.
Staten
And
Island and Manhattan are islands.
okay, so
You got to go
but
over the bridges to get to
to
them.
get to them, but then Bronx looks like it's almost connected to Manhattan, but not quite.
It
And
is, you
Queens and
can,
Brooklyn look like they're definitely not connected.
so
Are they connected to New York? I'm just so I gotta tell you, I'm
So
really fucking
nothing is
confused.
connected to New York because, well, it's all New York. Nothing is connected to Manhattan because Manhattan is an island. So you have to drive over a bridge to get to Manhattan from any of these neighborhoods. However, they are so close that you can literally stand on the edge of the Bronx. This is like the famous thing that you see in all the movies. And
Mhm.
there's a bridge overhead, and
They have lots of bridges.
you can see Manhattan's, like, right there. Like, it's, like, 10 seconds over a
Do you
bridge.
know what I think is gonna have to happen?
Hmm.
I think we're just gonna have to go to New York.
I think that's an excellent plan.
We were in Boston,
Mhm,
right? We went to
mhm.
Salem for help
Halloween.
me, Halloween.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have to go to New York, and I'm gonna have to physically see it. I'm gonna have to physically see it with my own eyes
I think
to
that's an
figure out
excellent plan.
what is going on because I see New York City here, it's the big piece, and then Staten Island is not connected,
Correct,
and
it's an
then
island. Staten
but
Island.
if the map that I'm looking at you know what, fuck that, I'm gonna put this in the document. It is literally Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and they are not connected to New York. Or Brooklyn
No,
and
they're
Queens
in
look
New
like they're
York.
connect but they're not connected. They're not connected to it. There is water separating them from it.
It's not separating them from New York, it's just separating them from the other areas.
I'm gonna put a snippet in here. You keep talking. I'm
Alright.
gonna do a snipping on here.
So, Robert remembers that his mom is standing at the top of the stairs, and she's like, "Please be careful out there. It's dangerous right now, blah, blah, blah." And he says,
Mhm.
"Don't worry, Mom. Son of Sam doesn't come to Brooklyn, and I'm dating a blonde."
Oh, I remember hearing that.
Yeah. So he picks up Stacy. They go to a movie. They go to the park. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and they go over
Mm.
to the swings. They're just chatting, whatever, and they pass a guy walking by himself. They don't think anything of it. They're at the swings for a little bit, and he says, Stacy says, "Can we go? Because I'm just getting nervous being out here in the dark." So they go back to the
Mhm.
car. They're sitting there
Mhm.
for a couple minutes, and then suddenly shots fired. Now their windows were open. The windows were rolled down. So shots fired. Um Stacy and Robert are both shot in the head. Robert is blinded. He loses sight
Okay.
in one eye. He loses pretty much all the sight in the other eye, but he survives. But Stacy, a couple days later, dies because of the swelling in her brain.
Mhm.
Now the cops are out there trying to canvass and find witnesses. Tips are flooding in. They come across a lady who had been out walking her dog that night. Her name
Mhm.
is Cecilia Davis.
God bless the
And
dog walkers.
yep, and she says, I thought he was following me. He made me nervous. So I see this young guy. He's wearing like an army kind of jacket.
Mhm.
He had, I thought, something like up his sleeve, maybe. It looked like there was something poking out of his sleeve, but I didn't know what it was. So she like grabs the dog, hurries home. And then she says, I heard shots. They don't know when they don't really say like when that happened,
Mhm.
but they think this is like a viable lead. And then she says there was an officer giving out parking tickets that evening, and the
Boom.
car that I think that guy was driving was parked in front of a fire hydrant. He got a ticket. The police kind of write her off a little bit because they had already looked through all of literally like a book of
Mhm.
tickets.
Mhm.
There were like 4 officers out that night, blah, blah, blah. They looked through all the things. They didn't see anything that they could like, we don't got anything. And she's like, I'm telling you, there was a
Good
ticket
for
on
her.
that window shield. Then they find out that there was another officer who had another book. But after that night, he
Yes.
was on vacation for 4 days.
Yes.
So he
Yes, I
didn't when he
remember
came back
this.
and he hands in the book, they
Mhm. They're
flipped through
like,
it.
"Yep, exactly right."
Yep, and they come
Mhm.
this made me laugh. Okay. So they come across a ticket that's written to a car, and the registered owner is David Berkowitz, and the cop goes literally, I wrote it verbatim. "What's a nice Jewish boy from
Oh,
Yonkers doing in a
no.
mobbed up neighborhood in the south of Brooklyn at 2:30 in the morning?"
Oh, and that's that.
And it made me think of, like, what cops would tell me about when they would, like, patrol Pershing or 47th Place, and they
Mhm.
would pull over, like, a car full of white kids, and they all had driver's licenses or IDs that put them in, like, Naperville, and they're like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck's a couple of white kids from Naperville doing on the south side of Chicago? Buying drugs." That's what
Buying
they were
drugs.
doing.
Yeah, they were I mean, they could do it better now, but fuck.
So, um then there's a clip of this like I had to put this in. So there's a clip of this woman, this blonde lady, and she's talking to the press and she's like, "Don't give that guy to the cops. If you find him, you give him to us. You give him to the mothers, and we'll handle him the way we want to." And
And
I was
they
like,
would have.
"Damn."
They would those so let's not underestimate the power of the mother
Blood Eagle.
because be thank you. Thank you. Imagine so Fran didn't like us much, right? She was like, "Kids kinda suck. Really wish I hadn't done it." But I also feel like if somebody had, like, actually murdered us, she would have been like, "I'm gonna murder that motherfucker." But
Mhm.
and she would have done it meticulously, like, you would see her in the edge of the corner, like, sharpening a blade and talking slowly to them while they're freaking out, and the
Mhm.
and it would have been meticulously planned for her.
Did I ever tell you about the way Fran said that she would murder someone who ever hurt us?
So, I would exchange hurt for murder
Okay.
because okay,
Murder. Okay, so
okay.
let's say that somebody murdered us
Murdered
and then
us,
they catch
yes.
them. Fran says, "Well, I would just get a gun and I would be in the crowd. And as he's walking by, I would shoot him and shoot him and shoot him. And then as soon
Mhm.
as I was done shooting him, like seconds, right? She's like, I would just go like this and drop the gun. Oh my God, where am I? What happened? What did I do?" No joke. No fucking joke. I don't know what was on TV that she thought that it was appropriate to tell me that. And I was like,
Fran.
damn, she fucking thought it all out already.
Remind
What
me to tell
happened?
you
Where am
a
I? Who are you?
franecdote. Yeah, remind me to tell you a franecdote after this story about the Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So
okay.
they get this Berkowitz. off the summons, right?
Mhm, mhm.
They just call him on the phone. They just call him on the phone.
"Hello.
"Hello." So they
Hello."
call him the detective says they called him, like, 4 times, they don't get an answer.
Mhm.
Berkowitz says that he could hear the phone ringing and he didn't answer it or whatever. I don't know if he had an answering machine,
So
but that he got the sense that his time was coming to an end and they were gonna catch him.
thank you. I was just gonna say all of this points very largely to that whole, like, unraveling, right?
Mhm,
That, like, things get more, extreme, and
mhm.
then mistakes start getting made because you're unraveling, you're coming undone.
Yep.
Mhm,
So, he decides he's gonna take some automatic, whatever, semi-automatic gun that he has
mhm.
up to Long Island to the beach and just shoot a bunch of people as, like, his big bang going out story.
Okay.
So he goes up there and it starts raining. And he says, "It's raining and there's no one out." So I just went home.
I don't remember that.
It was
I
tho
don't remember that.
this was in the confession tapes. And I was like
Oh, I don't think
I was
listened to
like, the
those.
fucking rain saved
How
I
many
mean, it's
people? How many
nuts.
people?
Exactly. So he's not answering the phone. The detectives decide to call Yonkers Police Department. They get a
Mhm,
dispatcher on the phone. Get this.
mhm.
The dispatcher is a lady named Wheat Carr, who is the daughter of Sam Carr with the dog named Harvey. The fucking dispatcher.
Small fucking world. Small world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they chat with her and they're like, we want to know a little bit more about this Berkowitz kid. And she's like, "Oh, let me tell you a story," and starts
I
telling them because at
I
this point, the
feel like
cars
I
know who's
remember
doing
this.
everything.
I feel like I remember
Mhm.
this. I feel like I remember this. Sis, imagine that
Mm,
you're living next door to
mm,
this person, and this is the like
mm.
you hear Nightmare Neighbors is a whole new thing on Investigation Discovery, but like imagine that
OMG.
the neighbor who you're like when I my neighbors are like I got the decorations for in front of my yard, and then they got ones that
Mhm.
were better, and then I did this to my yard, and then but the people to the left of me keep doing it better. Every time I do something, they do it like, I put the bricks around my thingamajigger, and
Yeah,
then
I remember.
they had actual real bricks put in, and I was
Yeah,
like, "God
you did
damn it,
yours with
you
what you
mother."
had there, and then
Yes.
they hired someone to do
They
it
hired somebody.
professionally.
They had a fucking saw out there, and I was like, "God damn it, that's what it's supposed to look like." But she's like, but imagine that neighbor is the one that's cuckoo fucking chew,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're just having, like, lawn wars over here,
Mhm.
but they're actually out there doing damage to people.
Yeah. So they hear all the things. They send a couple of detectives to go up to his house. They see his car because they know the license plate parked outside. They
Mhm,
look in the windows. There's an army duffel bag on the floor of the back of the car with a gun
mhm.
butt sticking out, a rifle. I mean, people, even when they were searching people the night of the anniversary, they're like, "Oh, you got this gun? It's a 38. Do you own a 44?" Like, people are just walking around armed and shit. It's crazy.
I don't know the gun laws back in the '70s. I imagine they were not much
I don't
better
think
than
there
the
were any.
'80s. Well, fuck.
So they see an envelope in the car, and the writing is characteristic. Like the letters he's been writing to the newspapers and to the police, like everyone's like, that looks kind of similar.
But weren't they written by,
So
like, a five-year-old child?
it's
Like,
very
they
weird writing. Yes.
okay,
It's very
I thought I
weird.
remember them being very juvenile.
Yes.
Okay.
So now the cops are like on the roof, in the back, in the front, watching the apartment building. They're getting a warrant. They're just kind of
Mhm,
all eyes on this guy.
mhm.
And they don't know if he's inside, but they think he's inside because his car is there. They see a guy come out of the apartment building. They don't know what David Berkowitz looks like. He goes
I
up
thought
to
they
the
had his
car.
picture at this point.
No, they just remember the driver's licenses were typed on a little piece of paper. There was no picture on them. All
That's
they
the
had
way
were
to
sketches.
that's the way to do a license. Okay.
So this guy comes out of the apartment. He's peering into the windows of Berkowitz's car, so they think
Mhm.
he's Berkowitz.
Yes.
Then they see
Yes.
he has a gun under his, like, shirt or whatever, and they, like, run up to him. They find out he's actually a deputy sheriff who works part-time in another area
Mhm.
who lives in the building, and he's like, "Yeah, I came out here to kinda check some things out because I've been having some problems with my neighbor, and this morning, he put a bunch of bullets outside my door, like, lined up outside my door."
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is that
So,
like a love note?
I guess. So then they're like, "Yeah, so let's tell you a story." So they let him go, whatever. Around 10 o'clock that night, Berkowitz comes out and unlocks the car, sits in it. They run up to the car to apprehend him. The detective says, he turns around and just says, "Well, you got me.
Got
What
me.
took you so
Mhm.
long?"
Mhm. I
With
remember that.
that
I remember
fucking
seeing that.
smirk.
He was a weird looking little fellow.
Yeah, he is a
He
weird
was a
looking little
weird guy.
fella.
Yeah, he is a weirdy little guy.
So this is the interview where he starts spouting all the bullshit about a 6,000-year-old demon
Yeah,
talking to
I
him,
know,
telling
I
him
know.
blah, 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 whatever.
Mhm.
May 1978, there is essentially no trial because, to everyone's surprise, he pleads guilty to all charges. And they were sure that he was going to drag this out and try to do insanity and all the rest of it. No
Mhm.
one thought he would just plead guilty. But everyone says after the fact, he wanted to make sure he got credit. He wanted to make sure
So,
everyone knew who he was.
okay, so this goes back right, absolutely fucking back to the notoriety that we give serial killers. That
Mhm.
was what we did in the 70s and 80s and 90s and even early 2000s, and that we're trying not to do now. And
Stop
a
giving them a
horrible
platform.
but can I go finish? Finish and then maybe
All
I'll
right.
mention it. I don't know.
So he pleads guilty. It's actually during the sentencing that he acts like a fool, like screaming and yelling,
Mhm.
calling the
Mhm.
victims' names and saying, I'll kill all of you, blah, blah, whatever. But there's no death penalty in New York at this time. So he receives 25 to life for every murder, and then other things for the attempted murders for the people who survived. But because of the way that it's handed down, he is technically eligible for parole at
No,
certain
friend.
points. Yes.
No.
Yes, ma'am. He
Absolutely
eventually
not, New
Mhm.
York.
He eventually admits that all the demon stuff is a bunch of
100%.
bullshit that he made up.
I was hoping that you were gonna mention that because as I was doing my research and getting to the end of things, I was
Mhm.
like, everything that I had found was that he was absolutely saying this was all bullshit. I made it up to seem like I was crazy, like he was just trying to get his weirdness all off the
Mhm.
record and all that stuff.
100%.
Okay.
Then so this is 78. Now fast forward 1993.
Mhm.
Some asshat reporter decides it's a good idea to let this fucktard talk, and
Who
they
is an
interview
asshat?
him. I'm
Uh-huh.
just saying. They interview him, and then he starts saying he wasn't acting alone. He was working with some devil worshipping cult
No.
and blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, where is the journalistic ethics in this to allow these people to even have a fucking voice? I don't understand
So
that.
that's interesting
It's all
because at this point
sensationalism.
it's all I was just going to say at this point it's who's going to get the story that nobody else has gotten. That's all it is.
So then a little while later, he admits again he's lying about having an accomplice. Duh. And it's just like anything he can do to get attention. That's all
Mhm.
this is. Attention, attention.
So he's not
So
so he's just essentially in prison for life but not really. Okay.
so here's the thing. He is currently incarcerated at Shawangunk Shawanunk
Wait. Wait, you said
Correctional
currently as
Facility.
in like he's still alive?
He's still alive. He's in his 70s
What?
in Wallkill, New York. He has
What?
been Wallkill, I know.
No,
He
he's
has
still
been
alive?
yeah, yeah. Now,
Oh,
whoa, gets better.
no.
He has been
Oh,
denied parole.
no.
He has been denied parole 12 times because he's eligible. every 2
Sis,
years.
he should be paroled every time. He shouldn't even be I thought he had to do a 25 to life for every murderer. Like,
So,
he
after
shouldn't
25 years, he's eligible for parole.
That's only one. How many people did he shoot? How many people did he kill? You said
I know,
25 to life for every
I
single
know.
one.
I
So
don't
what,
I
he's
don't
paroled and then
understand
he
it.
goes back to prison for the next one? No, sirs and ma'ams
Well,
and everyone.
he's been denied parole 12 times. He's eligible again actually this year. Everything that I've ever read anywhere
Stop.
says that he has no intention of pursuing parole. He doesn't think that he should ever be let out and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's kind of, they're never going to let him out. They should never let him out. So, this is where I go back to, was Donna Loria the first one? And we already know there was a stabbing victim. We don't know who or anything like that, but in 74, there was a stabbing victim.
I heard it was 75.
So I thought he said 74, but I
Okay,
could be wrong.
fair enough. Okay.
Anyway, so April 9th, 1976, a woman
Mhm.
named Wendy Saviano, she goes out to dinner with her husband. She's a stay-at-home mom. She has like 3 kids. The husband calls her. He's like, "Hey, I want to go out to dinner. Meet me at the restaurant."
Mhm.
They go to the restaurant and they're leaving the restaurant around 10:15 that evening.
I remember
She had
this.
driven her own car. She met her husband there, so they both get into their separate cars. He pulls out
Mhm.
and heads out. She's in her car, like, getting herself situated,
I
and
remember
a guy
this.
walks up to the car, pulls out a gun, and shoots her 5 times. She's alive. She's in her 80s. She's alive to tell this story. She remembers, like, kind of getting out of the car, crawling in the parking lot. Somehow she sees a policeman, and the next thing she remembers, she's in the hospital, all this stuff. She
Mhm.
had a sketch made of her attacker at some point. When all this is in the news and Berkowitz is all over the fucking place, she sees his pictures and she's like, fuck, that's him. That's the
Mhm.
fucking guy who shot me. She goes to the police and tells them, like, this is the guy who shot me. She even did a sketch
Mhm.
at that time, so May of 76, and it's
Mhm.
very like, it looks like him
I
for,
remember
all
this, sis. I
intents.
remember this. I remember
Okay.
this.
The police are like, "Well, but you were shot with a 32, not a 44."
Well, goodness gracious. It's not like he could have more than one gun.
I
Because
know.
didn't they find one in his car that was a
They
rifle?
found many. They found
Many.
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 So, they kinda dismiss her. Her
As they
story
do in the
eventually,
70s.
I know. Her story, in the 2000s catches the eye of an independent researcher named Manny Grossman. The thing that catches his eye is, like, he's going back to see if there are other cases that could be connected and that sort of thing, and it's just kind of
Mhm.
his hobby, I think,
Mhm.
because he finds the sketch of her attacker, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, shit, there's another Berkowitz sketch."
Yep.
And then he
Mhm.
looks at the date and realizes it happened before the first murders. Like, where did this come from?
So this was his first one.
So, this independent researcher talks to the current New York City police detectives,
Mhm.
brings it all to their attention. They're, in hindsight, they're like a step away, so they're not going to feel like defensive about anything
Right, right,
the
right.
way that maybe the detectives back then might have. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
They interview Berkowitz. He denies it. The cops don't give a shit. They're like, It fits. Everything fucking fits. It was his trial, if you would."
Right.
And they're attributing her attack to David Berkowitz, even though he's never been formally convicted of it. But they think that was the first one.
Okay. I don't disagree with you on that one.
And that's that.
So
He's in prison
he's still
and
alive.
yep.
Not really happy about that for us. Isn't he like one of those people that they say found religion? And
Oh
like he's all
god.
religious now and
He's a
forgiving
born
and
again
like,
Christian.
I mean, good for you,
Whatever.
not for us. Can I tell you I love the name Manny? That's It's pretty decent name.
Yeah.
And there was something that I was gonna tell you at the end of this, and I said, "Remind me," but do you remember what it was? Because I literally don't.
Summer of Sam.
Fucking Christ. Sis, did you watch it?
I like it. Yeah, I've watched it many
Well,
times.
no,
I
no, no,
love
no,
it.
no, 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 no. That's not what I asked you. You told me that I had to watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Right now, recently this week?
Oh, no, because I've seen it many times.
Okay, I've seen it 100 times, but I
Oh,
rewatched it because you told
okay.
me, "Hey, you have to rewatch Summer of Sam."
Summer of Sam.
No,
I love me
sis.
some John Leguizamo, man.
He's amazing in it. Can I tell you, like, everything everything about it
Adrian
separately
Brody.
is
Fucking love it.
amazing, but when you put it together, it's like I'm like, "Wait, what's happening here?" Myra Sorvino, is it
Love it.
Myra or Mira?
Mira.
Mira Sorvino is literally amazing, and I had forgotten about her incredible, delightful smile, like that smile that she
Mhm.
has that's just like when they're walking into the clubs, and do you know who it reminded me of? Oh my
Hmm.
god, so endearing. I was like, "Of course that's why my sister loves this movie. You big dum-dum."
Oh.
I was sitting there, I'm like, "That's my like, that big, same goofy smile that's, like, so tender and loving and endearing, and then but also a little bit crazy on the side. Just a hint of crazy in there." And John Leguizamo is amazing,
Well,
Adrian
I'm
Brody is
flattered because
great,
Mira Sorvino is
is
gorgeous.
amazing, she's gorgeous. But
Yeah.
I watched that movie and I was like, "This isn't what I remember it to be." It wasn't
Oh.
it wasn't and I was like, "Was it always as bad?" But maybe it was just because, like, I saw Summer of Sam when I
Yeah.
was fuck. I
I mean,
mean,
it was one of those movies that came out in the movie theater, and then I might not have even seen it till it was out on videotape,
I think I saw it
kind
at
of
the
a
theater. Was it very
situation.
controversial at the time?
I think so. I
Because
think
it
so.
feels to me like if it was in if it was in the 90s,
I just like the
1999.
dancing.
Oh my god, the fucking soundtrack was great. You know, that was a
Mhm.
soundtrack that I had.
Oh, yeah?
And Brandon, our little nephew, cousin,
Uh-huh.
nephew,
Cousin technically, but yeah.
he would get in my car, would take him for the weekends, and he would get in my car, and he didn't speak real English, but he would like, "Houlda, houlda, houlda," and I knew what he was saying, he would want that song on, and it was just to hear the soundtrack for that, it was great.
I
So,
love
yeah.
it.
Mhm. So that is David Berkowitz,
Berkowitz.
everyone,
Mhm.
who is still alive
Yeah. Fuck
and
that
still
guy.
in prison. Fuck, I didn't know you were gonna fucking do that to me.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck.
Whatever.
I know.
Anyway. Mm. So, don't park next to vans. Don't sit in your car
Don't sit
outside.
in your car. I mean, just don't
Guys.
sit in your
Oh
cars.
my god, don't do it. Don't
Roll
give
up
them
the
any
windows, although in this
ammunition.
story, the rolled up windows
They
didn't
were
fucking
rolled up.
help. They were
God
rolled
damn
up.
it. Mm.
Oof.
Come on,
Come on,
George.
George. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
Executive produced by me, Marie Abenante, and my sister, Lisa Linsner.
Music by John Bartman, track Shooter on the Roof. Cover art by the talented and beautiful Alexis Guerrero.
And all of this is possible editing and recording using Riverside.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.